What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Eman and Chosen here, and I'm back today with another video. So today we're going to be going through the long-awaited Bonkplar, the Wrecking Blow 2H ult Templar that I've been running on my past PvP videos and in my past live streams. So before we get into it, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button, as that really helps me out. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. So we have 31 points in the health, and then we have 33 points into stam. I found 32k health to be really good. You could build your health higher than this, but I feel like you would give up too much damage. You know, I feel like 32k was like right. It's not too low and it's not too high, so 32 is really good for me. These are my stats with everything up. You know, got pretty good resistances, pretty good recoveries. With that Rallying Cry proc, we're using Smoke Bear Hunch. I feel like this is the best food for this build, and then we are using the Atro Mundus. So I found the Atro Mundus to be the best for this setup because we do use a lot of mag skills. And then we are a stage 4 vampire. And I'll get into why we're doing stage 4 vampire as we progress through the video. But stage 4 vamp is very, very strong right now for this build. So getting straight to the slaughterables. So again, I am using Smoke Bear Hunch. I found this to be the best food. It gives me like the most health and the most recovery. You can absolutely get away with running Jewels of Misrule, but I found the Smoke Bear Hunch, if you're really trying to mid-max your build, the Smoke Bear Hunch is a lot better. But if you want to go the cheaper route, Jewels of Misrule will work just fine. We also do keep the Vampire stage food on us, like the Corrupting Mara and the Purifying Bloody Mara, just in case we ever need to switch stages in the middle of combat. You know, sometimes I don't keep stage 4. Sometimes I do, you know, maintain stage 3. As far as our potions, we do use these potions. You know, these are all my get out of jail potions. If I need to, like, if I'm getting zerged down really hard, need to pop a stealth and get out of there. But for the most part, we do use tri-stat pots. That's pretty much the best pot for this build. We also make sure we keep our you know, stealth detect pots just in case we're fighting night blades, stuff like that, because you're going to fight a lot of night blades and they're very pesky. Then we also been playing around with these pots, these minor heroism pots. That's my boy Genesis helped me craft these. If you guys want to know the recipe, just leave a comment. But yeah, these give you minor heroism. They give you your stats. But yeah, let's get straight to the build. The build for the front bar, I'm using Rallying Cry. We're using a Maul Sharpen with a Berserker Glyph. I like you can use the Rallying Cry on your front or your back bar. But I like it on my front bar because I have my Camo Hunter and it procs very, very easily. And it gives me a lot of the crit resist, which makes you really beefy on this build, especially with my skills. So yeah, we're using Sharpen on the front bar. Now, this is also a flex spot. You can use, so my other set that I'm using is Essence Thief. You can use Essence Thief from the front or the back bar, but I found it being better on the back bar, even though I do sometimes play with on the front bar. And also another thing too, we also do have another Rallying Cry Maul that we sometimes play around with, which is the one with the Oblivion, the infused Oblivion damage glyph. Oh my God, does this hit so hard? Like the infused Oblivion damage glyph, like sometimes it's really good for those super high health people who stack 40k health. You know, it's really good for those type of builds, but it's not the best for most people, but it's really good for certain specific builds. But for the most part, I keep it on Sharpen. And yeah, back bar, we're using Essence Thief, we're using this 30 shield and the defending one-hander. We do run poisons on the back bar. We use double dot poisons. Now those are a flex spot. As you can see, I have a lot of different pots. Like you can use an escapist pot, you can use drain, mag and stam pot. You can use, you can take your poison off and just use a shot. Like I have shot glyph on the back bar. But for the most part, I do use the double dot damage pots because those give you the most damage. As far as our monster set, we are running the trusty Bloodspawn. Now, Bloodspawn is definitely a flex spot. Like you can use Balor for a bit more damage, or pretty much any other monster set for more damage. But this specific monster set is very, very nice for our build because it pretty much gives us our ult. It also gives us a little bit more defense. So basically, with this monster set, we can spam like we get our 2H ult very fast, and we also get our sword and board ult very fast. So it's a really, really good get out of jail cards for a lot of oh shit situations. Also really nice because we are Imperial, so everything is like reduced cost, including our ult, so we get everything extremely fast. We have one piece trainee reinforced, one piece light armor rallying cry, and then the rest are essence thief. I have a mixture of sturdy and well fitted. I only have one well fitted, two sturdy, the rest are in pin. We are in 5 medium, 1 light, and 1 heavy. So as far as our jewelry, we are in rallying cry jewelry. We have 1 infused, 2 swift, and these are all weapon damage glyphs with a little bit of stamina recovery. And on the body, we also have all tri-stack glyphs to get that health up. As far as our mythic, we are using Markin. Markin is a flex spot. You could use Death Dealer's Feet, but I found Markin to be a lot better for this build because it gives us the beef we need. And I mean, Death Dealer's Feet you can hit harder and you have a lot higher health and better sustain, but Markin for this specific build is a lot better just because, you know, people can hit us really hard and Markin helps mitigate that. As far as our skills, we are using Camo Hunter. This is one of the best skills for this specific setup just because of the minor berserk that we get from hitting somebody from the side. It is a flex spot. Sometimes I do use, you know, the stand version of Backlash, which is, I think, is Power of the Light. That's a flex spot, but I found that Camo Hunter does hit a bit harder than Power of the Light right now. Then we do use Radiant Oppression. This is our execute. Only use this when they're low health. I do use the damage version because I can sustain my magicka very well, but if you can't sustain your magicka very well, I recommend using the other morph. But this combo, you can also use Reverse Slice. Reverse Slice actually hits harder, or the Executioner actually hits harder than the Execute, but I like the Radiant Repression because it combos very well with our skill that we're going to use, and I'll talk about the combo in a bit. Then we have Rally. Rally, basically like a quick little burst heal, and it's also a really good way to proc our Rally and Cry. Like pretty much with the Camo Hunter on the front bar, every time we use Rally, like it's going to proc every time because it's going to crit for the most part. It's a really, really nice skill. It gives you extra stamina recovery, and you know, gives you a little extra burst heal. So next skill is our famous Wrecking Blow. Basically, this is the one that gives us our major berserk when we use it. It's the other morph from DC Swing. It's a very underused morph. It's very strong in this specific build. And I like to stack it from the minor berserk that we get from Camo Hunter. So we have minor berserk and major berserk without having to run any other mythics or sets, just from our skills. Then we have Binding Javelin. This is one of the best stuns in the game. It hits you through block. So sometimes like I'll use this, you know, on people who like the whole block, like in DK, stuff like that, and really drains their stam. But this is a flex spot. You could also use the Gap Closer top lane charge. As you can see on this character, I don't have a lot of skill points, so a lot of the other flex spots I don't even have in the I don't have as an option because I don't have the skill points. But you could use top lane charge here. Also because it gives you a little bit of major protection as well, and it's also gives you the off balance, which is really nice for buffing your damage by 10%. So and also for our ult, we are using the famous bonk skill. So if you hear the bonk skill in my live streams, or if you see the bonk in the title description, this is the skill I'm referring to. Now, is this the best ult for Templar? Absolutely not. Like, you're probably a lot better off for running, you know, radial, like Crescent Sweep or Dawnbreaker, or hell, even Meteor. But at the end of the day, man, when it comes to, you know, creating a lot of these builds, it always comes back down to playstyle as far as what, you know, works best for you, you know. Because, you know, I played DC Swing a lot, and I played, you know, builds similar to this, and I played builds that use this skill. So, you know, a lot of people aren't going to be able to put the skill on and have immediate success, but it's a very, very strong skill. The morph that we use is the one that gives you the CC immunity, and it's a very, very strong combo if I'm comboing with Radiant Oppression, because, you know, with the CC immunity and the armor, like basically I have armor, and when I use the skill and I have someone to execute and I use Radiant, like they can't bash me. A lot of people, this catches people off guard all the time. Like they think I'm using emu pots or something like that, bro. Like, it's literally the skill. Like, I use Berserker Rage into Radiant, bro. It kills so many people, bro. It's so crazy. But at the end of the day, like I said, it comes down to playstyle. And actually, I feel like, you know, that bunk skill is what makes this, you know, build so good, because, you know, the downfall of Radiant Impression is that you can be CC'd out of it a lot of times, or you can be bashed, you know, a lot of times, and especially in like a 1vx situation, stuff like that. But, you know, with the bunk skill into Radiant, bro, it really helps you finish off kills a lot, and, you know, very successfully. So that's why I think it's one of the best ults for me in my playstyle. As far as our back bar, we are using Race Against Time. This gives us our snare removal. It's also a nice damage buff and speed buff. You could use the Mist form, but honestly, Mist form is very clunky. I wish they would fix that skill. I feel like it's too clunky to use. We are using Living Dark on our back bar. So I've been doing a lot of testing. So I don't have space for cleanse. So, you know, if I had to choose between cleanse and Living Dark, I would 100% choose Living Dark. The amount of healing you get from Living Dark and with Vigor is a lot. So it outshines cleanse in so many ways. Also, the other thing about the Living Dark is that it snares people as well, like a lot of the melee attackers. Now now Living Dark is a flex spot. I actually have been testing a little bit of tech without Living Dark or cleanse. I actually used the flare, but we'll get into that later on in the video. As far as our next skill, we are using Vigor, Resolving Vigor. Basically, this gives us our nice little heal over time. It's pretty much a must on every class, and it also gives you a nice little resistance buff. So when we use our Vigor, we extend our rune, we get a nice little resistance buff, and we're also getting, you know, a lot of heals. As far as our next skill, we are using Honor of the Dead. This is not a flex spot. This has to be on the build if you want to survive. Now, you have to be very smart with the skill. It's not a skill that you really want to spam. You really only want to use the skill because, you know, we can only use the skill so many times because it's very, very expensive. You know, even with the pot, like, you know, you can probably use it max maybe 4 or 5 times. It's a really nice burst heal, but it's not something you want to spam. You want to just, the main thing you want to do is rotate through your other heals, like your burst, like your rally, your vigor, and your bubble, before you have to hit that skill. And make sure you also hold block when you use that skill too. It's kind of like why we have our pieces 30 and stuff like that. But yeah, you only want to use that skill like when you're like in a dire hard like situation and stuff like that. So then we have our rune. This gives us our resistance buff. It also gives us a nice little heal while we stand inside of our rune. So basically it's giving us 200 stamina every second. It's very nice, especially when I stack this with stage 3 vampire or stage 4 vampire. So like basically when I'm running around, I'm pretty much getting stam back. So you guys can see when I'm standing outside of the healing, I get a little bit less heal, but when I'm standing inside the healing, I get a lot more. So basically, you know, stand inside the heal for more. As far as our back bar ult, we are using Spell Wall. I feel like Spell Wall is the best ult for this class. You could use Citric ult, but that's one of the main reasons I do use Sorter Board is for this ult, literally, because the ult, like sometimes like it's a free kill on Nightblades and stuff like that who are on you. Like I said, you can use Citric ult, like Undo. That can also work. Get the minor protection on your back bar, but you already get minor protection from using the Javelin. So, but the Spell Wall is very, very nice for this certain build. Getting into the passives, you know, this is still like a newer tune, so I don't have all my passives yet, but these are some the most important. Make sure you pick up all your, you know, Aegis Spear, your Dawn's Wrath, and also your Restoring Light. Only one I don't have is that last one, Restoring Light, because you don't really need it as much, but make sure you pick up your 2H passives, your Sword and Board passives. Like I said, it's still a newer tune, so I don't have all of my passives yet, but I pick up the ones that are most important. So I am in 5 medium, 1 light, 1 heavy, but I do try to get all the passes I can because all little extra bonuses you can get do help. The only one you don't need on the medium armor is the improved sneak, and then heavy armor. The only one I don't have is the light attacks, but you want that one too because sometimes they may help you. But yeah, I just don't have all the skill points now for vampire. Now this is important. So we are a stage 4 vampire, and I'll show you why. So basically, we go in and out of stealth, like, you know, we run for 3 seconds, and it also reduces the cost of running. So basically, when I'm running around, bro, like, I literally restore stam while I'm running, especially when you have a rune down, like, you're just getting stamina back. And then, you know, got our undeath passive, and then, you know, when we leave stealth, you know, we get 300 weapon damage, which is really nice when we're running around. I'll show you, you know, just how much like stam sustain we have when we run, stuff like that. So basically, when we run, right, like, literally my stam is like going up, so it's kind of crazy. And then we can proc a SSD from our back bar. Always open up with a D swing and stuff like that. So try to proc your poisons on your back bar. And as far as the combo, always start with light attack on your back bar, you know, going to the front bar, starting with the D swings. D swing, you know, try to then hit a javelin into an execute. That's pretty much the combo on everything. D swing, javelin, execute. You know, same thing if I was to use the bonk skill, you know, light attack back bar, proc the essence thief, D swing, javelin, or you can D swing into a bonk into an execute. So all right, now we're gonna get into the CP. So as far as my blue tree, so I do run 3 offensive CP and 1 defensive CP. As far as our offensive, we do use Master's Arms, Daily Aim, Untamed Aggression, and then we have Ironclad for our 1 defensive CP. Now, as far as flex spot, now Untamed Aggression is a flex spot. You could use Wrathful Strikes if you want to hit a little bit harder. But the thing about Untamed Aggression is that it actually gives you a little bit more it gives you some healing. You could also use Fighting Finesse instead of that. And also, Ironclad is also a flex spot. You can also put, you know, the points into Resilience. You know, that's only if you're fighting a lot of Nightblades. You know, Resilience is a lot better than Ironclad when it comes to Nightblades, because you honestly just the crit damage. You know, as far as our red CP, we're using Celerity, we're using Survival Instincts, Relentlessness, and Pain's Refuge. So I use Survival Instincts over Sustained by Suffering just because it reduces the cost of everything when we have our effects on us. And you know, on this build, we like to reduce the cost as much as possible because, you know, especially with our sturdy and blocking and stuff like that. Now, you could put Sustained by Suffering, but I like Survival Instincts. And I'll show you guys some changes I do to. I'll take out Relentlessness, and I'll show you guys the change I do. So this is something I've been experimenting with. It's very, very tanky. Sometime I'll take off Bubble, and I'll actually put on Revealing Flare. So I know it sounds kind of crazy. You know, I'm running Templar without a cleanse or without Bubble, but this actually works very nicely. You know, you put your Flare there, and then you take your CP out of Relentlessness, you know, which is the one that gives you major protection, and actually put it into something that gives you a little bit more armor. Like you can do either, you know, you can do Fortified, you can do Juggernaut, and it actually makes you pretty beefy. Like sometimes I'll run around my Templar, and I'll show you guys in the clips at the end. Sometimes I run around my Templar without Bubble or without a cleanse, and it's super tanky. And so, but yeah, that's gonna really do it. I'll go ahead and show you guys my green CP for those sweats. I know those sweats want to think the secrets is in the green CP too, but we use Rationer, we use Liquid Efficiency. These are just some quality of life stuff. I use Gifted Rider and Steed's Blessing as far as my green CP. So. But yeah, that's going to really do it for the build. And then now we are going to get into some gameplay. Enjoy.
Damn, I thought I chose you. Shooting like a soldier, like I'm from Antonio. All these niggas, always, big, bang, never, 4, 6, 8. Man, that shit slow, bitch. Say she like a club, I'm London, young car club. Sign is on, call it dirty laundry. I didn't really want your card in your card. Yo, I'm really wrong. I didn't have my sock. This is every rock. Running from the car. Shooting at the office. Shooting at the office. Cause I run that block. Give me talk. In my drop. I didn't hug on flop. When I drop. I didn't hug on flop. When I drop. I didn't hug on flop. When I drop. I'm feeling rock. I didn't wear my socks. Running from my heart. And I shoot that hawk. And I'm on the block. And I'm on the block. In New York, I'm really rock. Hiding in my socks. Hiding in my socks. Selling every rock. In New York, I'm really rock. Hiding in my socks. This is every rock. Running from the car. Shooting at the office.